A good January afternoon to everyone. As we've kicked into second semester, I wanted to send you just a quick video message with a few timely updates on things that I hope you'll find of interest. First of all, one for those of you who deal with the iPads in the district on a fairly regular basis, I hope you will click on the link attached to the email send to this message as we've overviewed some plans that we have in place moving forward into second semester to try to get our iPads up to speed and working at the highest level. More or less, the cut to the chase is until we get all of our applications pushed and updated. Currently, there's about 7,000 of those happening right now. We're going to put a hold on any iPad updates as far as apps go, and then we will put a regular systemized approach to updating apps down the line as we move into the next school year. So I hope you'll read that message. Secondly, in the news, there's a lot of different things going on. I hope you will pay attention to several of the things happening in Springfield as they will have direct impact on us as professionals in education as well as impact on the district. It appears for the first time in multiple years that the proposed legislation that is pending has a really strong chance of passing through, and all of that will have impact on us as a district and certainly those of us in the TRS system. So I hope you'll keep watch over the next month or so, as very likely there'll be significant activity. We'll try to keep you up to speed as it may or may not impact folks as things move along. Another piece of legislation that was recently passed and signed by the governor was lead testing in schools being a mandate. Moving forward in Illinois, I've got good news for you in that regard. In December, we actually contracted with an outside environmental engineer firm, Environmental Services, and they tested each of our drinking sources across all 4 buildings as well as the board office. And to a water outlet, we passed not only what was the previous 15 parts per billion requirement for lead in water, we also passed the newly revised and updated and more stringent 5 parts per billion as a limitation to safe drinking water. Every one of our water dispensers passed that mark. So we're a little bit ahead of that curve and feel really good about that. A local note from a safety standpoint, obviously you've had several messages forwarded you from us regarding things around Western Springs that are atypical. Many of them have been related to juveniles being the victims of some crimes as well as some threats of bodily harm and weapons used and that sort of thing. So even with the one that happened just south of us that the police determined was not an issue, there have been several of these that we need to be concerned about. So thanks in advance for a little extra presence when you're at door duty or if you're a crossing guard assistant, those types of things, just to be out there. And we appreciate you being out there taking an extra eye for our kids. 2 dates that I want you to note before I wrap up and wish you a good finish to the week. 5 Essentials survey for staff and parents closes at the end of this month, January 31st, so you have a handful of days to fill out 5 Essentials survey feedback if you would have interest. And finally, local school board news. As you may or may not know, we will have 4 seats open in the spring election. 4 seats are open, and we have only 2 of our incumbents running. Mrs. Gibbs will be finishing her second and final term, so she won't be rerunning. Mrs. Reedy will be finishing her first term and has chosen not to rerun. Mrs. Garvin and Mrs. O'Connor also completing their first term, and they are running for re-election. We have 5 candidates running for those 4 seats, so we'll have no less than 2 new board members. And for those of you additionally interested, the caucus / election committee will be hosting candidates night on Wednesday the 22nd here at McClure. It'll be held in the library I believe it will start at 7 o'clock as we get a little bit closer to that candidates night. For those of you interested in knowing more about who the candidates are and kind of their positions on various issues of interest for District 101, we'll push out more specific information near that date. All right, that's it for now on some business updates. If you have any questions, please come to office hours today, 3 o'clock over at McClure Conference Room. Feel free to call me anytime at extension 2958 or send me an email or stop me in the hallway when you see me in the building. Have a great finish to your week, and we will talk to you all soon.